In a dark corner of the overgrown thicket, Clover crouched low, her fluffy tail quivering as she huddled with her fellow Floppies. The air felt thick, a heavy blanket that muffled their breaths and made each heartbeat thud in her ears. Around them, the world was a chaotic blur of shouts and mechanical sounds, punctuated by the heavy stomping of boots that seemed to shake the very ground beneath them. Clover peered through the dense leaves, her golden eyes wide with fear. She caught glimpses of the paramilitary death squads, clad in imposing, almost robotic armor that glinted ominously in the sparse light filtering through the canopy. The figures moved with an unsettling precision, gripping their guns, fingers poised near the triggers, their movements purposeful and devoid of emotion.
"Why do they hunt us?"
A fellow Floppy whimpered, her voice barely above a whisper. Clover didn't have an answer. She tilted her head, trying to make sense of the chaos surrounding them. The Floppies were not meant for this. Violence, fear, and running. Their world had once been filled with laughter, sunlight, and the joy of chasing butterflies. Now it was overshadowed by darkness and dread. Suddenly, a distant, chilling scream pierced the air, followed by the sickening sound of gunfire. Clover's heart sank. She knew what that meant. The cries of her kind echoed in the distance, a haunting reminder of their grim reality.
"Why do they hurt us?"
she thought, despair washing over her. Even in her simple mind, she felt the weight of those cries. Each one a plea, a wish for life that would never be answered.
"Stay quiet,"
she urged her friends, nudging them gently to keep them calm. They huddled together, their wide eyes reflecting the fear that gripped them all. Even in her confusion, Clover felt a responsibility toward them, a flicker of understanding that they needed to survive together. Through the rustling leaves, she caught sight of the armored figures drawing nearer. They moved in a methodical line, scanning the area, their faces hidden behind dark visors that concealed their intentions. Clover felt a chill run down her spine as she watched one of them crouch low, pointing a rifle toward the bushes.
"It's not fair,"
Clover thought, her mind swirling in the tumult of emotions.
"We just want to be happy."
Her heart ached at the memory of sunlit days spent frolicking in meadows, chasing each other without a care in the world.
"Why do they want to hurt us?"
The air was filled with the acrid scent of fear. Another Floppy squeaked softly, and Clover felt a pang of despair. She placed a gentle paw on her friend, whispering comfort in the only way she knew.
"We are Floppies. We belong to the sun."
But deep inside, an unsettling realization dawned upon her. They were no longer safe in their world. The moment of clarity passed, leaving her with a sinking feeling. Clover wanted to understand, to grasp why everything had changed so drastically, but the thoughts slipped away like sand through her fingers.
"Run!"
A distant voice called out, breaking through the tension. The squad had moved closer, the sound of their heavy boots thundering in her ears. Instinct kicked in, and Clover urged the group to scurry deeper into the underbrush. They darted through the thick foliage, each of them aware of the danger lurking just behind.
"If we can just find a safe place,"
Clover thought, but every instinct told her that safety was a fleeting dream, just out of reach. As they reached a clearing, the sun broke through the clouds, illuminating their path. For a moment, Clover felt a rush of warmth, a brief respite from the darkness that loomed over them. But that peace was shattered as gunfire erupted behind them, sharp and jarring. Clover turned back, eyes wide in horror, as one of her friends fell, a soft whimper escaping their lips.
"No, not like this!"
she cried, but the world was spinning, the joyous memories of sunlight and laughter eclipsed by the violence surrounding them. In that moment, as the remaining Floppies scattered, Clover felt the weight of despair crash down upon her. Their existence had turned into a frantic struggle for survival against a powerful force. She stumbled away from the clearing, the cries of her friends fading into the distance, her heart heavy with loss and confusion.
"What do we do?"
she wondered, her thoughts spiraling into a whirlpool of fear and sorrow. But deep within her, a faint flicker of determination ignited. They may have been hunted, but they were not yet finished. As she plunged into the depths of the thicket, her heart beat in time with a fragile hope.
"We must keep going, for the sun."
As she ran, the chilling screams of her kin echoed in her mind, a relentless reminder of the horrors unfolding around her. Even in her limited understanding, Clover sensed the growing darkness. It was not just a struggle for survival, it was a fight against annihilation. In that knowledge, a primal instinct surged within her, one that whispered of the strength and unity, the need to protect what remained of their world, even if they were small and seemingly insignificant. With the chilling cries still ringing in her ears, Clover vowed that as long as one Floppy still breathed, they would not be forgotten. They would find a way to endure.